It's a shame not everyone is gonna be able to listen to this episode.
Why do you say that?
What if you have a nut allergy?
Bazinga!
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't think of a better way to start this one.
There's nothing better than another episode of Adventure
Ooh, that
Twins.
one's good. I'm nuts about this one. Can you feel the love tonight?
If you don't like this podcast, put up your dukes, because we're
that
gonna
one's
fight
okay.
you.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. This is the Adventure Twins podcast. We're two twins, us, talk about one of our favorite shows, Adventure Time. I'm Jacob.
I'm John.
And today's episode, we are going to talk about Season 1, Episode 19, The Duke. This episode was released on July 19th, 2010, written by Elizabeth Ito and Adam Muto. In this episode, when Finn accidentally turns Princess Bubblegum ugly, she mistakenly blames the Royal Duke of Nuts, but Finn struggles to own up to his own actions.
Yeah. I thought this episode's gives a very, good lesson for kids, a very strong conflict of how long can he prolong this fib or this little lie, or does he just need to tell the truth? But he's afraid that telling the truth will make classic VeggieTales does this. You see this all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very much one of those episodes where it's this one has a lesson. Not every episode. They learn a lesson in a lot of the episodes. There's some kind of lesson, which is funny because the next episode we'll record has pretty much the whole antithetical idea of there is no lesson to be learned. But this one is this is a very classic setup for a story. It's all based on a certain amount of irony of, Finn only becomes anxious about telling the truth because Princess Bubblegum is I'll hate whoever did this, and so doesn't know that it was Finn.
She is pretty absolute about that. Yeah.
So what are your... That's a very, yeah.
So initial thoughts, what do you think of the Duke?
I think it's a fine enough episode. It's a little... It plays it a little safe. There's nothing super spectacular about it. I think it's a perfectly fine episode, but there's nothing I don't know. I think coming off of Dungeon, which is this is peak Adventure Time for early seasons, this one is this feels like a lot of other cartoons.
Yeah.
Feels like a lot of other children's media. It's still good and it still has that Adventure Time charm to it, but it's a lot of the kind of plot beats and the jokes are very kind of this feels like a lot of other stuff. Just reskinned.
Yeah, it's got the like you said, the charm. It has the humor, and obviously the voice actors being so iconic in the roles helps a lot. But it's overall, I don't want to say forgettable because I've always remembered the Duke, but the Duke is not a character you see very often. So it just kind of, it's there. It's not bad, but it's just bland enough.
Yeah, I like the Duke a lot as a character because of the whole he's so good that you...
He's so good.
He's just one of those he's such a perfect... And that is kind of a little bit of a character trope. I can't think of any immediate examples, but someone who's just so perfect, it can almost bother you that it's no one is this nice.
I would say a children's animated Superman. That's the only thing that... So even that's not a perfect...
Yeah.
A Boy Scout. Literally, he's the nicest, most perfect human being out there. Or not person out there.
Yeah. He's just too good of a person. Almost kind of laughably aloof in how good of a person they are.
Yeah.
Putting down his cape to let ducks cross a puddle. We're jumping ahead into the episode, but he's a fun character.
Yeah, I like the voice actor too. Do you know who does it?
That's just Pendleton Ward.
Really? Okay. Are there other Adventure Time characters that use this? Yes. Okay. It's this is a future episode. I think it's the 21st episode. It's where Marceline comes back and they're sucking the blood off of a bow tie of his. I think that's the same voice as Duke of Nut. I like the exact same voice.
That voice is like one of Pendleton Ward's, like, he just does a lot of background characters, I think, too, that kind of all have that same.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. So
that's okay.
It's a bad claim, but
no, it's definitely there. I mean, he clearly uses that voice a lot in Adventure Time.
It's a fun kind of like faux royalty kind of fake sounding voice. Like, it works.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Anyway, this episode starts. They're just kind of back at the Candy Kingdom. I liked that.
It's been a while since they've been there.
It's been a while since we've been here. Because it's kind of one of the main settings of the show. But I think it's cool. They're just like, they're back throwing a wagon full of potions, just throwing them at the wall and seeing what happens.
Yeah, I thought they were recycling at first, because like when I take my recycling out, I throw it into the big bins. I like to see how hard I can throw it to make it shatter. And I thought they were doing that. No, these are full of potions, and like the one was like Rainbow Kitten Surprise or something like that. And
yeah, it cracks open, a bunch of like cats come out, like ghost cats or something.
So fun things. I'm like, okay, that's a random and funny enough way to start an episode.
They do a lot of episodes just kind of doing random chores for Bubblegum anyway, so like,
yeah,
this one they just seemingly aren't. They're just fucking around and throwing bottles at the wall.
Yeah,
It's a good start though. So anyway, they're throwing bottles when they can hear PB screaming at someone, and then they see the Duke of Nuts come running out of the entrance of the castle, as PB just keeps yelling at him. Did you write down what she says?
I did not write down the exact quote.
So no. I only wrote down like half of it, but it's just like, don't come back unless you feel like a fist cookie. But I think it's
that's good. Line. That's a good line. So your initial thought is like, who the heck is this guy? He must be horrible if Princess Bubblegum hates him this much and wants to give a fistful of cookie to him. So Finn and Jake are going about their business, and they pick up another glass bottle. This one's shaped like a boomerang. So you already know hijinks will ensue. And he throws it, and of course it comes back, but it goes too high and it flies into a window in the upper level of the castle, which of course happens to be Princess Bubblegum's room. And this potion turns her bald and green, like an ogre.
Well, ogres have little hairs.
They do.
When you leave, they're like an onion. When you leave them out in the sun too long, they grow those little hairs. Yeah. Famously, that's why they're like onions.
Yeah. So here's the conflict now, is Princess Bubblegum looks like this. She's bald and green and ugly, but she has this meeting with all the other royals of Ooh, and so she can't be looking like this before her big meeting. So Finn and Jake will have to go and like somehow revert this issue, but they won't come clean that they're the ones at fault, because she thinks the Duke of Nut did it.
Yeah. PB was inside the bottle, just threw through the window, and she's convinced the Duke of Nuts was the one who threw the bottle, turned her bald and hairless. And she just assumes, because she already hates him, that it must have been his fault. And Finn and Jake, she keeps going on. She's very angry. And she's going on and on about like how she will never forgive who did this. She'll never forgive the Duke for doing that. And anyone who could do such a cruel act like only deserves her wrath.
I know I said this already. She's very absolute of like, I would hate them forever. Anyone who does it, and I would hate them forever. They could never make it up to me. Like really digging into Finn on this one, not knowing that Finn did it.
Yeah, and that's kind of
Finn's like, clearly like, well, I'm not going to tell the truth now, because like she would hate me forever.
And it's funny watching it now as like a grown adult. That kind of irony is funny. Someone being so absolute without knowing the other person. But like, I don't know, as like a 12-year-old, that would have been devastating to me to be like, I can no longer tell anyone this. I'm going to get in so much trouble.
That reminds me of that one time we were in the car together, and I said, you know what's a really bad Christmas gift? A candle. I was thinking
the same thing.
I'm like, who gives a candle for Christmas anymore? Like, that's get better. And then neither you or Aaron would say anything, and I'm just like, what? Like, why are you guys replying to me? And then sure enough, Aaron got me a candle for Christmas.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Boy, did I have egg on my face. And I'm like, I'm not too small of a person. I can admit when I'm wrong. What I said was inappropriate.
I was thinking that about like, sometimes when you're that absolute without knowing the situation behind, she was blinded with rage and hair loss.
Yeah. So I'd be mad too if I lost my hair and turned green.
Is this the first time we see the nurses of Candy Kingdom? They're like
I
all the ice cream cones. I don't think we've seen one before, right?
So yeah, unless they made a small appearance in the first episode.
Yeah, but anyway, the nurses in the Candy Kingdom are ice cream cones. That's a detail.
PB, in addition to being very absolute, is kind of crazy in this one. I mean, she's like the animation is a lot more, for lack of a better word, I was gonna say animated. But
yeah, it's like overly exaggerated to kind of sell her being crazy and emotional and like
yeah.
I mean, she does like maniacal laughing at one point, and like I know like
it's kind of a subplot within Adventure Time at a certain point.
Yeah, of like there's a whole thing going on that we've not really gotten any details yet of like PB kind of being a dictator and like a mad scientist, and like you get a little bit of those details of like, oh, she does not always have her emotions in check and can definitely get blinded by a
rage.
Sort of raw power and rage. You get that a little bit, and here it's played like only for comedic purposes, I think. But I'm like, oh, it can get a little scary later down the road.
This early on, you're already starting to see them kind of sow the seeds of is she just like mad with power? Maybe
the kingdom is a fascist government.
I mean, like, kind of.
I liked looking around the room in the nurse's office, and there's just like, there's a framed photo of Lady Rainicorn, and is it Gem Princess? Jewel, Emerald Princess or something?
I didn't see it, so I don't know who you're talking about.
It's the princess with like a green gem, kind of as a hat.
Yeah, I can't picture them. I don't know which one they are.
Yeah. There's also a framed photo of Finn doing like a little smirk. You get a really good shot of it when Finn is like, "Oh my god, I'll go out and talk to the Duke of Nuts." It's like right behind him. Is a framed photo shots, of himself.
I haven't seen the snail in a long time.
Oh my god!
I always try to keep my eyes peeled for it, but maybe it's because I'm like also like trying to like write my notes as I'm watching, and it's there for a half a second sometimes. I haven't seen it in a second.
I haven't seen it in a while either.
Yeah, if you've seen the snail, let us know.
Yeah.
Please, because it's been a second.
I haven't seen. Yeah, it was so noticeable in some of those early episodes, but I think now I'm just like, I don't know if I'm just like looking down at my computer when I take notes or what. But
I know that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
So we start getting in the idea of the kingdom having a whole little structure of royalty, because like they go to see the Duke of Nuts and there's a Duchess of Nuts, and I would assume they're a part of the Candy Kingdom. They're not a princess, but they're a duke and duchess. That's within the royal structure of this monarchy.
And I think the nut definitely falls under the Candy Kingdom. Thinking the Candy
I would say
Land,
so. Yeah,
because the nut land seemed very similar to. It reminded me a lot of
Grandma
the Candy
Nut.
Land. Grandma Nut, exactly.
Grandma Nut,
and like people eat like candied pecans and stuff. You find that in the sweets aisle. So definitely Candy Kingdom.
It makes sense for them to have their own little territory within the kingdom, but.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is kind of the first little glimpse you get of like, oh, Candy Kingdom is more than just like one village. It's like there's it expands a bit. There's more to it.
And outside the castle walls, or the city walls too, because you see a lot of different suburbs within the city, but never outside directly.
Yeah, so the kingdom exists beyond the walls too. So we're getting a little bit of glimpse of the whole just like structure. And the fact that we even know there's a meeting of the royalty of Ooo means there's some sort of council, like, I don't know, it's starting to tie the world all together a little bit more compared to... It's still super preliminary, but like it's a bit more than we're getting in earlier episodes of just kind of like one episode, one kingdom. Otherwise, it was just like Ice King captured all the princesses, but...
Yeah. And I know they've already called it Ooo before, but it just helps to see kind of a little bit of lore building in a way.
Mm-hmm. It's very early. I mean, we're only on episode 19, but like...
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's like already kind of starting to build.
So Finn and Jake are going to hunt for they're basically deputized by Princess Bubblegum to go and hunt down the Duke of Nut and find him and return him in handcuffs. And Finn is quite distraught about doing this because he knows he's the one who did it, but he doesn't want to fess up to turning PB to look like Shrek. So, what was it? One of them made the comment, "Crooked cops are vigilantes." And that just made me chuckle because I'm like, Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
um,
They end up going to the Duke's house and they see the Duchess, and that's where they kind of start to get this idea of like, well, they start questioning of like, what did this Duke do so wrong that Princess Bubblegum doesn't like him, and they kind of just pass it off as like, well, if PB doesn't like him, then he must be bad
he must be
inherently.
bad. Yeah, because the Duchess of Nut seemed to really like and say good thing about the Duke of Nut and
He's
how
going
good of a
on and
guy
on.
he
And
was.
he kisses babies. He like pets
Hugs
puppies,
puppies
and stuff like that.
stuff. He lies with his
Um,
wife, so he must be good.
Well,
I don't know
yeah.
if Jake pointed that out. That one made me chuckle. I'm like, wow, what a kid show.
I wrote down the note because the Duchess of Nuts is. I wrote down, I think this lady has gone ... nuts. Because she's starting to go a little crazy of like, who would accuse my husband of such a foul crime? And then immediately after I wrote that note, Jake made the exact same joke, and I just wrote
Yeah.
down, oh, Jake just made that joke.
There are some nut puns for sure. I mean, it's
Yeah,
low hanging fruit in this episode.
Yeah. Speaking of
I like-
fruits, cashews grow on a fruit.
Ah,
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay.
Well,
Cashews
Cool.
are a nut. Anyway.
I like when they're in the Duchess of Nuts house. Jake is like eating all these nuts. It's like, oh, man, I should have asked if these are like her eggs or something. But I'm like, wait, do nut people lay eggs?
Nuts lay eggs.
Are nuts mammals?
That does the whole like idea of how do the nuts reproduce, because the Duke of Nuts has a son.
He does. But did you
And he's a
notice
little
that
peanut.
the son is a peanut, but the Duke is a chestnut?
I thought they were walnuts.
Oh, are they walnuts? Yeah,
I
they
don't
probably. I don't. I'll be honest, I can't tell the difference.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Canceled.
wow. Okay. Yeah. So
All nut people look the same. Okay.
wow. Okay.
Yikes.
Yeah. So nut people. How do they reproduce?
Anyway.
That's a good question.
Finn is kind of going on, and he's like continuing to rack with this guilt of, oh my god, how do I tell the princess this? If I tell her, she's gonna hate me forever. And Jake is trying to like ease him in his very typical Jake role of like, Finn's being emotional, Jake is trying to calm him down. But his way of calming him down is like, oh, it's no biggie. Tons of people hate me.
I like that.
And it goes to the
it gets to a squirrel that really hates Jake.
Did you notice why the squirrel hates Jake? Did you notice
It's
that?
writing
Other than
Jake like letters to publish and won't publish the letters. But again,
yeah, if you look at the squirrel's like screen, apparently Jake runs an advice column
that's it. Okay.
and won't publish the squirrel's letters. So it's just a little cutaway gag of like, all right, I guess the squirrel hates Jake. But Jake is just so nonchalant. Oh, tons of people hate me.
You don't get a lot of cutaway gags in this show, so that was kind of like, oh, that's neat. Tons of people
Yeah.
hate him, like the squirrel.
Yeah, the squirrel just hates Jake for not publishing his letters in his advice column that I don't think ever gets mentioned again.
No, I don't believe it does in any way. But it's also fitting for Jake to run an advice column.
Yeah.
So they finally run into the Duke of Nuts. They see him running away from the Duchess of Nuts' house. They chase after him and they tackle him, and it's actually revealed to be the Duke of Nuts' son, which we've already mentioned, the Peanut. But then the Duke of Nut comes out and is like apologetic and consoling to his son, and you kind of realize like, wait, the Duke of Nut's actually like kind of perfect, like nice.
Yeah, he's like an
nicest guy.
extremely nice guy.
Yeah,
It just like is super patient with the son, talking him through it. So Finn and Jake have this little aside of like, are we sure this guy's a villain? Like, what have we seen him do that's villainous? And it cuts back to the Duke, and I mentioned this earlier. He literally has taken off his cape to lay over a puddle so that some ducks can cross the puddle without getting wet. He's like literally like overly nice.
and even like while Finn and Jake are talking about it, he comes back. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I made you wait. I made you these flower crowns."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, this guy's pretty likable because flower crowns, helping ducks. He just asked for pudding, which I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, everyone loves pudding.
Daisy crowns as a token of gratitude for waiting. It's yeah, I like there's a line in there Finn's trying to be like, something's wrong with this guy. And he's like, no, Finn is going on about like, this guy doesn't seem that bad. And because he's super guilty, and Jake is trying to be like, no, just because he's a good dad doesn't mean he's not a villain. It's like, I know tons of good dads who are villains. And then he keeps going on. It's like, I could think of a way that, or when he sees the ducks crossing the pond, he's like, I could probably think of a way that's villainous if you gave me enough time. Maybe not.
He tries for a second. I thought he was going to come up with something, but there really isn't.
Yeah, I can't. He's just so nice. But I like this idea that like Jake is trying to spin anything he does, and it's like, I'm sure he's a bad guy. It's like, even though like every sign is pointing out the opposite.
I thought it was kind of a throwaway joke of like he asks for some pudding, but that ends up being like a central part of the conflict actually.
Yeah.
And they end up getting him some pudding, and he like devours this shit. It's all over his face. And
I like that Finn has pudding in his backpack.
Yeah, because why don't you? I mean, if Ice King can carry trail mix around, then Finn can have some pudding.
Canonically carries snacks around in his backpack.
Yeah. Him liking pudding so much reminds me back when we were at camp. This is when we were campers a long time ago. They would always have the salad bar out for lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And like nobody was eating the salad bar this week. I mean, it went untouched the entire week. But finally, someone goes up there and they see there's pudding at the salad bar, and they just shout, "The salad bar has pudding!" And there's literally like a line stretched around the entire dining hall for pudding. Then
I like pudding.
Me too. I like chocolate flavor.
I'm a vanilla pudding guy myself. Butterscotch pudding.
I like pistachio too.
Me? I
like it all. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
The big bucks. Anyway, so it's revealed the reason Princess Bubblegum is mad at the Duke of Nuts is because the Duke of Nuts has a very embarrassing problem that he can't stop consuming pudding. And every time he visits the Royal Candy Kingdom, he eats the entire royal pudding supply, and it keeps pissing off PB because the kingdom runs out of pudding because he keeps...
But he doesn't... It's not because he just likes it. He has a pudding deficiency, so he has to keep
he's deficient on pudding. He has to keep eating it. He's like,
it's
naturally. A disease.
It's actually like, he's in pain constantly, probably. Because insides of nut people is pudding, probably.
I just wrote down the note. Next note. The Duke gives the lesson. I don't remember what lesson the Duke gives.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the lesson is either, to be honest. I don't write anything like that down.
The lesson was about just like being honest to your friends, I think, even if it's difficult, but I don't remember what the Duke says.
I got a little blurry around these details. Things moved very quickly in the middle of this episode. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, okay, central plot here.
It made Finn, I wrote that it made him feel worse because the Duke was being so nice and forgiving. Because Finn was able to confess to the Duke that they were the ones who turned PB into Shrek. And the Duke was so forgiving and nice and even willing to take the blame himself that it made Finn feel even worse. And so they decided they were going to find a way to explain it to PB and make the Duke look like a good guy, because they were like, we can't make this guy a villain. We have to make PB look like the Duke.
This is very similar to the Ricardio episode, because like Finn and Jake want to hate these people, but then they're like, every sign is pointing to the opposite of like, wait, maybe we're wrong. Maybe we misjudged this person. We jumped to a conclusion too quickly about the Duke of Nut just based on what one person told us. But like, I don't know, my experience have always been really nice. And there's actually always a good lesson in that.
Yeah, although this is the opposite from Ricardio, because with Ricardio
actually was bad.
Turns out, this guy does suck, and he's trying to eat their hearts. But this one, it's like, no, he's genuinely that nice of a guy, and they feel bad about ever hating him.
Yeah, I wrote down the line that Finn said, Now you're making me feel even worse by being so nice about it."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So they come up with this little plan to, I guess, convince PB the Duke is good, but we see
they don't really talk about it. It's kind of like haphazardly thrown together.
So we see PB's getting carried around in like a chariot pool, like it's like a little bathtub but a chariot so she can still soak in whatever ointment she needs for her Shrek disease.
It gives me like Emperor. It was Emperor Leto from Dune, like the big guy. Not maybe it's not Leto.
Isn't that the Baron?
Yeah, the Baron, not Leto. Yeah, it's the Baron. Like how he's always suspended and like yeah, because canonically he's very fat in the book.
Yeah, he like has to be suspended because he can't hold himself up.
He literally cannot hold himself up. Yeah, yeah.
It
gave me those. It gave me those vibes. That's the Baron. Yeah, I was gonna say the Beast Robin, but I'm like, no, that's his like nephew or some shit. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't read this.
I've read the first 4. I'm a little far ahead. So
okay.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, wait. Okay. So Finn goes up to the chariot and he's like, "Oh, hey, PB. We went to see the Duke. Wait a second. Is that some rustling I hear over in the bush?" And it cuts to a bush, and it's just Jake clearly going, "Rustle, rustle, rustle."
That was my favorite part.
He jumps out
Rustle.
wearing like a bandana around his eyes to make like a little ski mask or whatever.
Like a bandit.
So he's a robber. He's a bandit. He's like a bandit mask. And he jumps out. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ambush you."
There's the pun right there. It's an ambush.
Yeah, it's a bush. Get it? And Finn is like,
Did you write down what he said as he was jumping?
not exactly, no.
It's like, "I'll kill you and raise your children as my own."
Okay,
Which is oddly specific taunts or threat. Like that's okay, that's odd.
But Finn is like, "Oh my god, it's a bandit." And Jake's immediate response is, "Oh, did I come out too early?"
Clearly.
It's like this reminded me of the episode of SpongeBob. I can't remember why they're doing this, but it's SpongeBob is like a helpless woman in distress.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
It's a Mermaid and a Barnacle Boy episode, but SpongeBob is like, "Help, my purse." And Patrick comes over dressed as a bandit. "I'll be taking that." It's just like this very staged fake incident, and it's clearly Finn and Jake.
That's like the Flying Dutchman one, where it's like, wait, was that our cue? Just do it again.
Do it again. But so they do this like little slow-mo fighting, and then Jake actually like beats the shit out of
Oh,
Finn.
do you remember we're acting? My favorite part of this like fake fight to like, "Oh my god, look, you're being saved, Princess Bubblegum," is that she's like not putting up with this shit. It keeps cutting to her, and she's clearly like, "Guys, what the hell is this?" And that's my favorite part of the whole thing.
And so I get confused about. I actually wrote this down because the Duke of Nuts comes out and explains, "And that is how I saved the princess from a bandit."
Well, they forgot to do the part where he actually saves her. He just walks out and says it.
And I think at one point PB is like, "I'm very confused about what the point of this play was." And I wrote down, "I'm also confused about the point of this play." It's funny, but like, wait, how does this help the Duke?
So I think they're trying to. The Duke was supposed to come out and save him. Maybe they just forgot to animate that part.
Yeah.
Or it's just funny because they go like, "Duke, are you ready?"
Yeah.
"I'm not sure this will work anymore." It's just like doomed to fail.
Oh, you know what? We forgot. The squirrel showed back up.
When? Oh yeah, it did.
As they're talking to the Duke,
I put too much in this episode.
Jake makes another comment about how there's people who hate him. And because he made another reference to people hating him, you can see the squirrel trying to throw one of his letters over to Jake, who doesn't see it. It just walks right past it. And the squirrel calls him a son of a bleeblob.
Nice.
Which is classic Adventure Time writing.
Jake's squirrel person kind of looked like his old friend Tiffany.
I actually had to
very
look through
similar
all my old
animation
notes. I was like,
style.
did this squirrel show up already? Have we
No.
seen this squirrel?
It's just Tiffany. I guess Jake has a certain like type of friend he likes. I don't know.
Which are just like punk kids.
Yeah, I guess he's not really friends with the squirrel, but he knows that the squirrel hates him.
Yeah. I would assume he knows.
Probably.
Maybe he just doesn't know because he keeps ignoring the letters.
That's true, maybe. But then
Maybe
how
he's
would
just
he know
not
that?
getting maybe he's not getting the letters, and the squirrel assumes he's not getting the letters because he's just not reading the letters.
That could also be true.
So maybe the squirrel hates and assumes he's a bad guy, but there's an easier explanation.
When
And it could be like this whole Duke of Nuts things where it's like, well, maybe he's not that bad.
could be a whole spin-off episode of the squirrel trying to get their advice column posted.
Yeah.
I like
Maybe
when
the whole spin-off show.
it could be. Yeah, I think it's called Kif. It's about an animated squirrel.
Yeah. Squirrel Nuts.
Okay, nice. Wait, wasn't there a movie about like squirrels trying to get their nuts like in time for winter? I don't.
Oh, The Nut Job, yeah.
The Nut Job. That's it.
It's a heist movie about squirrels stealing nuts from. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm assuming it's
It's probably what
a
it
heist
is.
movie. I think it's about stealing.
Well, we've learned what it's
squirrels.
we've learned what it's like to make first impressions on things. So you could be assuming it, and you go in, and it's actually a retelling of Romeo and Juliet using squirrels. And it's called
Remember the show-
Romeo and Juliet.
You remember the show Squirrel Boy?
I do remember Squirrel Boy.
Man, hey, if you're listening to this podcast and you remember Squirrel Boy, leave us a comment on our social media at Adventure Twins Pod. If you remember Squirrel Boy, let us know because I remember it, and I remember some of the Flash games I would play on Cartoon Network.
The sandwich making game.
The sandwich,
That one was fun.
The sandwich making one I thought was a Lilo and Stitch Flash game.
Well,
have to,
there
like,
is that. There's that too, but there's also the sandwich making game. Because remember, like the hat sells the sandwich, and because they use like a secret sauce on the sandwiches that makes it sell really well. And then at the end of the episode, they change it to lard, and nobody buys this. This is like a whole episode of Squirrel Boy.
Oh man, okay, that I just remembered that. I do not remember the Flash game about making sandwiches.
We played the Flash game was pretty good.
I remember there was one where it was all about making money, but there was one where you had to like go and get the golf balls at the bottom of a pool.
That one was good.
It was, I think, all in the same game. It was like one game about making money, but it was 3 games within that one game.
The golf one was fun.
It was one of those just like, I think you had to catch ice cream as it was falling down from the sky, but as the stack got taller, it would like make your movement. It would like wobble the cone around a lot.
Yeah, I remember that one. There was the lawn mowing one too, I think.
Oh
You had
god,
to,
there
like,
was a lawn
yeah,
mowing
do you
one.
remember that one?
Yeah. Only vaguely. So if you were a fan of the Squirrel Boy Flash games on CartoonNetwork.com, you bet your ass I played them.
Yeah, we played a lot of those. Yeah, let us know on Spotify. Leave us a comment, or on Instagram.
If you're listening on YouTube, leave us a comment there.
Yeah.
I
Or
have not
if
checked any
you
of the
want to email
analytics on
us, you
YouTube.
can do that too. AdventureTwinsPod@gmail.com. The only emails I get are from Spotify. Please be the first to email us. I check it. I check it daily.
Anyway,
and I don't get it.
Well, how does this episode
Okay, so
end?
the Duke is explaining like how he's so sorry to Princess Bubblegum for what he has done, and he said my favorite line, "Nuttin's going my way today," which is
classic. You got to get a
classic
nut.
nut. They had to put it in there. Finn does come clean and admits to Princess Bubblegum that he was the one who did it. But hey, PB, you need to know the Duke of Nut. He's only doing that because he has a pudding deficiency. He has to do it. And then Princess Bubblegum is like, "What? Well, why didn't you just say so?" "Well, I'm not mad at you at all for that." And I'm like, I think Princess Bubblegum was just being ableist.
Well, she leaned to the side and was like, "I'm not buying a word of that."
Yeah. So she's being ableist.
Yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
she tells Finn, it was like, "Well, Finn, I can never stay mad at you." And she figures out that the only way for them to repay her for making her look like Shrek is that they have to go to the royal meeting of Ooh dressed as her. And it's
Yes.
just them with like pink wigs. And that's all it is. And there's
They
2
fall,
of them.
they fall for it. They're like, "All right, any word from Princess Bubblegums?"
Yeah.
And that's the joke. That's how it ends, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. There's someone else at the meeting, and I kept being like, "Who the fuck is this royal?"
I
And
thought
his
the same
mask
thing.
falls off, and it's the son of the Duke, the peanut guy, who teams up with the squirrel to attack them. And I think it ends as they're jumping midair to attack Finn and Jake.
That is exactly it.
Yeah, that's how it ends. What a finale.
Yep. Lesson was learned, but they needed some random way to make it end.
Yeah, it definitely felt the last like 5 minutes. It feels like so much fucking happened in this episode, and it's
It
11
was
minutes long.
all over the place. I could not keep up with it.
Yeah.
Half of my notes weren't even funny. They were just trying to say what's happening in this episode because I couldn't keep up.
Oh yeah, I couldn't really think of many comments or comparisons. It was just so much happening constantly.
Yeah,
and you'll
so
get
little-
episodes like that where it's just
Yeah.
so much.
Any favorite quotes that stood out to you that we may have not covered already?
I think I got everything.
I had
wrote
one
down
that I
already.
liked.
Yeah.
They're running after, at the time they think it's the Duke, but it's the Duke's son. And Finn's like, all right, I'm going to go left. Jake, you flank right. And so Finn jumps off after him. And then you see Jake go the same way and going, I went left too.
I missed that entirely.
That one was really funny.
Yeah, I got my notes.
let's-
I got the nut eggs.
Yeah.
I could think of a way that's villainous if you gave me enough time.
Nothing's going my way today.
I just got the line, the royal pudding supply.
Yeah, because that's a thing in the Candy Kingdom. Let's see,
yeah.
I didn't even question that. I'm like, yeah, of course they have one.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I'm
I mean,
curious.
clothing- Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm curious. So the Duke has a pudding deficiency and has to continuously eat pudding. Is there any food that you think that's kind of similar, where it's like once you start eating it, you can't stop?
Oh God. I mean, I'll down a can of Pringles in a sitting. Like,
Really?
I'm not good at like Pringles are just they're so easy to eat.
I mean, that's kind of like me with Chex Mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a bad habit of caffeine. I'm trying to cut that out. I'm not doing super
Yeah.
well, but
My first thought that came to mind was like Fruit Gushers. If you put those in front of me, I will be eating Fruit Gushers constantly. Or the Nerd Gummy Clusters.
oh
I
my
buy-
God, those
oh
things are so
yeah.
good. Yeah, I'll eat the whole bag. and
You
lick it
buy
up.
the whole like the big Ziploc bag, like the big shareable one. I will eat that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing,
No,
and
those
I
things
feel
are gone.
sick as shit afterwards. Like my stomach
Oh,
is
you're
killing. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
probably
no,
eating
there's-
like 5 billion calories. But they're so good.
I mean, Samoas are my go-to Girl Scout cookie. I'll down the box in a sitting.
I like the whole.
Those
box.
don't last. Yeah.
No.
Thin Mints are easier to hold. I'll do a sleeve of Thin Mints at a time. But
Yeah.
those
They're not any better.
tortilla chips.
Oh, at Mexican restaurants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put a bag of tortilla chips in front of me, I'll keep eating them. They don't take up space. They're tortilla chips.
Low key, most foods probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of foods. Honestly, if it's in front of me, I'll probably just start eating it.
Yeah. Pudding. I'm also like that with pudding.
I don't remember the
So
last
maybe
time
I have a
sat in
pudding
front of
deficiency.
Yeah.
Well, do you
I don't
not
remember
keep
the
a
last
vat
time.
of pudding in your house?
Oh, the royal vat of pudding, as is tradition. That's a South Park reference. Never mind.
See, I wouldn't get that one.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any closing thoughts?
It's a fine episode. A little overpacked for sure. They try to do a little too much in one episode. But it's fine enough. Good lesson to be learned. Some
Yeah,
good jokes. It's
I
fine.
think it's not bad just because it's an episode of Adventure Time and they all have something about it that's inherently good. It's just it's nothing to write home about.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun rewatching these and seeing even the forgettable episodes always have like a little something funny, like a funny line or funny joke that I've forgotten, but now will like always stand out to me. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever really a moment where I'm like, all right, let's keep this going. I mean, everything, it's 11 minutes. It's all so fast. It just has to keep going.
Yeah, and we talked about it for 40 minutes. So-
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And I think
Anyway,
10 of that was the Squirrel Boy Flash games.
Yeah. There's going to be all of 0 people who are like, oh my God, finally a podcast for me.
Someone
Squirrel
who
Boy
understands
Flash
Squirrel
games.
Boy. Squirrel Boy's funny. I like the show too. I remember enjoying
Salty
that one.
Mike. You remember
I
Salty
don't
Mike?
remember, I don't remember Salty Mike.
So there was a character in the show, Squirrel Boy was like the pet squirrel of whatever the kid was. But there was like some rival kid in the neighborhood, maybe his bully, and he also had a pet who could speak, and it was a parrot named Salty Mike. And every time he said his name, it would do like a little flamenco riff or whatever, and he would just go, Salty Mike! And it would do the riff, and he would just keep doing it.
Dude, the Salty Mike's like owner's kind of uggo.
You looking up Salty Mike?
I am. There's a lot of fan art out here of Squirrel Boy.
Really?
Yeah, a surprising amount.
Huh. I wouldn't have expected that. Oh my god, there is his owner.
Yeah, he kind of
What a show. What a show.
The show kind of sucked, but like I remember thinking it's funny.
We should probably end this. Okay. Well, there's nothing more to say.
Gone. I was gonna have a pun, but I lost it.
Gone today. Here, tomato.
Tomato. Adventure Twins.
Adventure Twins.